Hi, it's Barry Molt, still getting small business unstuck. And as we all face the coronavirus, there are actually some small businesses out there that are doing something about it. So, Sonia Hart from Koval, one of the favorite distillers in Chicago, welcome to the show. And you've actually moved from producing whiskey to hand sanitizer, right? You mean you just can't pour
Yeah,
that whiskey on your hands?
yeah, no, not really. We have to follow a World Health Organization recipe.
So tell us how this came about from you producing hand sanitizer for people to use in the hospitals around, I think, Chicago, or is it broader than
hmm
that?
It's a little broader than that too. We're shipping to a number of different areas around Chicago. So I guess you could say Chicagoland area. The need is so great though. So it's not just hospitals. We ship to the Chicago Police Department, the Chicago Fire Department, ambulance services. So many people in need. Nursing homes, of course, need it desperately. So the need is great, and we saw it because we were listening. I mean, we originally when COVID started, attacking our great city, we said, well, why don't we? Once it became legal, we thought that because it wasn't actually legal for distillers to make hand sanitizer until last Wednesday evening.
Wow.
So we were sort of anticipating this, and we said, well, when it becomes legal, because we thought it would, after talking with the TTB and Discus, which is our trade organization, we said, well, we can make a few batches and donate it to first responders. And when word got out that we were doing that, we started receiving hundreds. I mean, I'm sure now it's thousands and thousands of emails from people asking us for hand sanitizer, talking about how much they need it. And these were emails that were coming from directors of nursing homes saying they did not have any left. It made us think a lot about washing hands and hand sanitizer in a completely new way, because when you think about first responders, if you work in a hospital, you don't always have access to a sink to wash your hands quickly, but there is a sink in there. If you are a police officer or you are a firefighter, somebody that works in an ambulance, quite often you're interacting with multiple people for hours without the ability to go to a sink and wash your hands with soap and water. So these are people that really need it. We started talking to the jails. Everybody, I mean, even mail carriers. I mean, so many people are in need for this. So I think it's fabulous that it's not just Koval that's doing this, but there are distilleries all across the United States that are completely shifting their business to be able to do this to help their communities, which I think is fabulous.
So, Sonia, why wasn't it legal? This surprised me for distilleries to make hand sanitizer before last Wednesday.
Well, I think that some of it was taxes. There are different tax brackets related to alcohol for consumption, which is very high taxes, and then other taxes related to, or very no taxes really, related to alcohol for something like a hand sanitizer. So what ended up happening was we needed there's the tax issue, which they actually just provided a relief program for. And then you also had the problem with just the fact that it wasn't a license extension. If you were making for consumption, it just wasn't part of your license. I think that might have been to keep different businesses successful in their own niche, so that if you're making whiskey, that's what you're doing, and you weren't making hand sanitizer on the side. Whereas now, everyone that needs to be making it.
All right, well, listen, I went to Walgreens. I tried to make my own hand sanitizer from aloe and rubbing alcohol. It just didn't work out. How do you shift one of your lines from making whiskey to actually making hand sanitizer? How does that work? Where does the alcohol come from? What are the details?
Well, the alcohol comes from very expensive organic rye and corn, because what was happening is we had actually just gotten in a humongous shipment of grain, and instead of turning it into whiskey, we had to turn it into hand sanitizer. So
The big
it's
sacrifice for the world right there.
exactly. Exactly. So 4 years from now, we're going to have a sort of a lot less whiskey than we would have. But at the same time, hopefully we're saving lives right now, which is certainly more important than anything.
So you take that alcohol from a very expensive source, and what do you add into it?
Yeah, we basically, instead of making it the way that we would make our whiskey, which is focusing on a very specific part of the distillate and care in our process for whiskey, this process is all about high proof alcohol. So we are just trying to get as much high proof alcohol as we can. We're stripping it, like making a very, very sort of high proof vodka, basically. And then it gets taken and we have to mix it with the recommended ingredients by the World Health Organization. So that includes hydrogen peroxide and glycerin.
Wow.
For that formula. Yeah.
Wow. It's crazy. I saw that Tito's Vodka now is coming out with actually a hand cleaner as an line.
Yeah. I think that's great. I mean, we could all use, a hand in making this and getting it out to people for sure.
How much are you producing, and how long do you expect to be doing this?
Well, I sure hope this scourge is over soon, but it looks as if we're just getting into it, which is horrible. A lot of our colleagues in Italy, have been suffering with this for quite some time now. Basically, the intention is that we will continue making it. I mean, the ability to make it 100% for free for people indefinitely is not going to happen. We need to keep the lights on as well. So I think that we're going to start charging for it at some point. And we started a GoFundMe page to have people help us so that we could provide this for free for first responders. And we've actually received almost $50,000 from people all over the world, from Taiwan to Manchester, England, to, the United States, all over the US, that have donated just, 20 all the way up to from Edelson, who's in Chicago and San Francisco. They donated $15,000 so that we could provide hand sanitizer to a number of charitable organizations that they wanted to support, such as Howard Brown and a hospital and a different area, and some other areas as well. So a lot of people have come together to help us do this. I don't think we could do this really alone. We've even had, bottle companies offer to donate some bottles. We've had so many people offer to help with delivering, free product. I mean, my best friend, he works for an elevator company, Kone, and they donated their truck and his time to help us deliver it out to the fire department and to hospital. Really, it takes a village, and we're seeing all of Chicago come to us. Even the Chicago Tourism Board, Choose Chicago, they've offered to help us with delivering product around. And we even have a medical delivery service that is offering to deliver to all of their medical places that they go to normally, and to make sure that they have some hand sanitizer as well for us. And that's MedSpeed. MedSpeed is the name of that place.
I think one of the most wonderful things to do in Chicago is to do a tour of your distillery. And I just hope we don't get into that apocalyptic future where people are no longer touring the distillery; they're touring how hand sanitizer is made. I just hope. Sonat, thank you for everything you and your husband and Koval is doing. Give us that GoFundMe page so we all support that, because so many of us are frustrated about what we can do, and this is one way we can help.
Yeah, this is absolutely something you can really do, because the more help we have, the more we can do for free. And it's really nice. And, you don't think of how long it might even take, even if we're selling it to some of these organizations that might be able to afford it, setting us up as a vendor. There's so many things. And these are people who literally need it this second, because they are out driving their ambulances or their home healthcare professionals, and they literally do not have any. So you can go to our website and you can donate there. There's a link that goes straight to our GoFundMe page, and you can see pictures of some of the happy people who have received some of the product already. And we're trying to get it out as fast as we possibly can, about 600 gallons a day.
So I'm just either going to, what is your website and what's the name of the GoFundMe campaign?
Sure. The website is kovaldistillery.com. And I think the GoFundMe page, I will tell you, is called Help Koval Make Alcohol-Based Sanitizer. So that's what that is.
Thank you again.
Absolutely. My pleasure.